So I'm about a quarter of a way through Kingdom of the Feared, and I have an update for you. What am I reading? What the actual fill in the blank? What the actual heck am I reading right now? I don't know. This y'all. Okay, so let's get into it. So I mentioned in my wrap up that Kingdom of the Curse felt like it was a different series from Kingdom of the Wicked. And y'all, this I I don't even know what to say. So like the I'm lost for words, and I don't think it's a good thing. Okay, so we opened this book, and we open right into smut, and I'm like, and I look on the back, and it says ages 16 and up, and I'm like, this is like this is like Katie Robert filth. And if you've read Katie Robert, then you know. And I love Katie Robert, so it's not a bad thing. It's just not what I was expecting from a book that or a book series that started out young adult and supposedly transitioned into new adult at most. I don't know. I'm confused. And then the plot, like I talked about in my wrap up as well, how Kingdom of the Cursed kind of lost the plot for me and kind of swapped to something that was different. And I feel like this one is also changing as well. And I know we had to change because the events of the second book didn't allow us to continue the plot from the first book, but I feel like we're like pivoting again, and this is going to be about something different again because now we're in an identity crisis, and I'm like, where did this come from? We still haven't resolved the sister issue, which I feel like is the purpose of the series, but we're moving into other things, and I don't know how I'm feeling about this one. I feel like if it was a standalone or something that I was going into without having read the first two books, I might like it more. But I'm just, yeah, I'm like 100 pages in, and I'm wondering if this wasn't the last book, I probably would have just DNF'd and went on about my way, because what you will find out about me is that I'm a DNF queen. I don't care if I'm 10 pages in or 250 pages in. When I'm done with the book, I'm done with it. But I I know that I would not be able to like sit with myself, and it would make me almost anxious to not finish this series off. But yeah, yeah, it's not really looking up for this right now. But I have hope. I have hope. We have a lot of book left. So I'm hoping that it gets better. Yeah. So, okay. So now I am about 75% of the way through Kingdom of the Feared. And y'all, I'm liking it more than what I thought I was when I first started this book. And like, I think it's the plot twists that are doing it for me. Like, this book has so many twists and turns, and you're finding out so much information, and it's just been hit. It's like hitting you over the head with like all these shocks and surprises, and I'm actually really enjoying that. I think that's the only thing that's kind of holding me together because it is so fast paced. I feel like if it was slower, I wouldn't have been able to make it through. I'm completely shocked at where we are compared to where we started this series. I There was no way for me to guess or suspect any of this happening. But like I said, I am having a good time. I think that Amelia is coming into herself in more ways than one. And that's me saying the non spoilery version of that. And I think that the more she finds out, the more she tries to make things peaceful. And it's so ironic because it's like, sweetie, you're in hell, literal hell, and you're trying to create peace in a place that is not supposed to know peace. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I mean, I only have like maybe a little over 100 pages left, and I feel like this ending is just going to explode, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be. And so I'm excited to see where we're going to go in the ending, but I am more excited to be done with this series because it has been chaotic to say the least. Friends, we have finally finished Kingdom of the Feared, which means we are finished with the Kingdom of the Wicked series, and I could not be more ecstatic. Like, I'm so freaking happy to be done with this series. I did not hate it. I actually kind of liked it. Yeah, I liked it. I just feel like, definitely feel like she was doing too much. I feel like this series, from where it started to where it ended, it just, I don't even know what to say. But I feel like we took the long way around and there were so many twists and turns. And then I just, excuse my voice, like between allergies and just life, I don't know what's going on, but we're going to work with it. Um, I feel like this was not the story that we originally thought we were going to get in Kingdom of the Wicked. And I just wish it felt more like a cohesive story. I enjoyed Kerri Maniscalco's writing, which makes me excited to get into Throne of the Fallen. I enjoyed the world that was built in Hell. And yeah, I just think we lost the plot a bit. And then the change from young adult to crazy levels of spice, no warning, nothing. That kind of turned me off a little bit. But anyway, I think this was good overall. I ended up giving this a 3 star. So my ratings for the entire series, Kingdom of the Wicked was a 4, Kingdom of the Cursed was a 3.5, and Kingdom of the Feared and a soft one a 3. So yeah, just glad to be done with this. Alrighty, friends. So unfortunately, I have some bad news. I will be DNFing the Gilded Wings at about 26% in. And y'all, this was not good at all. Like, I tried, but I knew within like the first 5 pages that it was a no for me. And I kept pushing anyway, just to see if, it would get better or if I, would at least be entertained enough to want to read the whole thing. And I was not, and I did not. So I think this book suffered because it was using words like romantasy. And like, yes, this book was published in November of 2023, and it was set in a present day timeline, but I do not want to see romantasy used in my books. I want to see it. Instant turn off. And then also, it used words like rapey, like the situation feels rapey, but it wasn't like in a serious way. It was more like in a joking way. And I'm like, no, big red flag. Almost immediately stopped right then. It was weird. It was very, very weird. And I I guess I should tell you more about it so you can kind of, know what's going on. So you have this girl and she works in this library, privately owned library that they don't really know much about. People don't come in during the day. People only check out books at night when they're not there. And so she gets this call one night saying that you one of the books weren't returned. What'd you do with it? Why is it missing? And she's like, oh shit, I'm about to get fired from my job. So let me go see what's going on. And so she goes to this library. She's also drunk during this situation. And so she finds out that the library is like a portal to the Fey world, and this sun god is there, and he's the one that called her. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on. And yeah, this part is going to be a little spoilery. So if you don't want to hear this, just skip forward a little bit. Actually, I'll just have spoiler at the top, and when it's gone, you can come back. So they're at these parties that occur at nighttime, which is why, they can't be there. And she finds out that her best friend, who also works at the library with her, is actually Faye and has been hiding it from her this whole time. So she's upset about that. And um, apparently, at this party, as they're trying to figure out what actually happened to the book, some weird mating ritual starts. And so they're trying to run away, but they didn't get away quick enough. So she ends up having to go through the mating ritual with the sun god. And at first they're like trying to resist it, but then, like, for whatever reason it's not explained to us, they just stop trying to resist it and end up just having sex for like 30 days straight. And there's nodding in this book, and the nodding didn't really bother me because it was kind of like not an in-depth situation, but the whole thing was just weird, and it made me uncomfortable. And it's a no for me. And I mean, that's all I can say to keep from ranting about it. It's a no for me, and so I had to stop. And yeah. Okay, so I'm about 100 pages, 25% ish into Storm and Shield, and I'm gonna be honest, this started off a little slow for me. Very slow, actually. I feel like we're 100 pages in and we're just now really seeing the plot even be introduced. We're just now seeing what this is even going to be about. I will say that I feel like the romance was definitely introduced sooner in this one compared to the first book, which is Rain and Ruin, because I feel like we were well over halfway into that book before the romance surfaced. But we're seeing little sprinklings, and I can tell who the couple is going to be at this point. And I don't know if I want to say, because I feel like it might be a little spoilery because it's not in the synopsis. And I will say we're following a different couple than we followed in the first book, which is refreshing to kind of see a different view and a different take on the world. And this is, I wouldn't say like for sure it's enemies to lovers, but it's giving like nemesis to lovers, maybe. I don't know. They're just kind of going back and forth with the comments. But I am excited that our woman main character is a badass. I love to see it in every book. Like, she is tricking the guards, getting past the guards, and all of that. And I think it's hilarious because they thought they were like the biggest and baddest. And she's like, haha, I'm beating out all of y'all. even the commander. So yeah, this has been fun so far. Once that we're actually in the story, it started off very slow. We were taking a journey um, from one land to the next, and then we got into the refugee camp, and it was very slow, very overly descriptive in my opinion. But now that we're into the story more and the plot is being set up, I'm hoping that it stays at least this level of interesting, but I'm hoping that we get a lot more actually intrigue into this book. But having a decent time so far, so we're gonna keep trucking. Okay, so I have finished Storm and Shield, and y'all, it definitely picked up about halfway through. I started flying through this book. It just felt like thing after plot twist after event, all the things just started happening. And, I had a really good time with this. So the romance was actually pretty cute. They just went back and forth. So our female main character, she was always, running around and outsmarting the guard and the commander who actually ended up being her love interest. And it was really cute because she was always besting them, and I just love to see it actually. It felt like the plot definitely slowed down in this one compared to Rain and Ruin, and we mainly focused on building the relationship and the romance in this, and also our female main character, she hid her magic for most of her life because of the place that they lived in. So she's learning about herself and learning about what she can do, who she is, and also that it's okay to be who you are and not have to hide your magic. Seeing not only the romantic relationship grow, but also just the relationships with all of the characters. So Sultana, Macram, and also our female main characters, family integrating into this new society, into this new realm where things are definitely different than what they're used to. It was definitely an interesting book. I am limited in what I can say because the synopsis doesn't give much away, and I don't want to give away anything about the plot or even who this book is about because it's the second book in the series. So I'm just kind of being hush hush on that because I don't want to ruin it for anybody or make anybody mad. But I definitely did have a really good time with this book. I do wish that we moved the plot along more. It just feels like we were left hanging on a lot of the different plot points in this book and nothing really like fully wrapped up or, was concluded. But there are two more books in this series, so I'm guessing that's why we still have a lot to go before everything is completed. And I don't know that I will be rushing to pick up this third book. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I got. Okay, friends. So we have completed this reading vlog. Um, it was kind of a bust, if I'm gonna be honest. I mean, we we had Kingdom of the Feared at a 3-star. We DNF'd the Gilded Wings, and then we ended with Storm and Shield being a 3.5 star. And while these aren't bad ratings, I just feel like, I was left wanting more. I'll just put it that way. So my hope is that in this next vlog we'll have at least a 4-star, maybe even a 4.5, with the hopes of course, always having that 5-star read. So again, thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me and watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.